How to remove a stuck hose on a spigot or faucet when all else fails. Hello and thank you for stopping by. Today I'm going to show you how I remove this stuck hose on this spigot. This is a wash machine hose, and I would use the same procedure on a garden hose that'd be stuck outside. When I say when all else fails, because I tried everything that I know of, with the exception of heat, which may work on this. What I would usually do with this, I would try WD-40. Didn't work. Several applications, couple days, didn't work. I found this leak after I did a wash machine repair. If you're interested in that video, it's up above. And I noticed that this hose was leaking. I don't recall how long I had this hose on here, but you can see this must have been leaking for some time. Did a little damage on the woodwork here. But anyway, I tried my mix of 50% acetone and 50% transmission fluid. That usually works on everything. Didn't work on this. And I also tried straight white vinegar. I put the vinegar in a spray bottle, sprayed it several times. I was hoping that the fluids I was using would penetrate down to where the rust is. None of these worked. If you use any of these methods and you get this to move slightly, wiggle it back and forth, spray a little bit more. That's how I would usually get these off. But this one is frozen solid. Now, I used a pair of channel locks in here, and that didn't work. And when the channel locks don't work, I go for the heavy artillery. This and one of those sprays usually does the job just about every time, but it didn't this time. And like I said, I tried the application several times a day for a couple of days. And you have to be careful, especially if you have this kind of setup. This is a copper pipe. When I lived in the city, we had the solid pipes, and you could stand on those pipes with practically no fear of breaking anything. If you snap one of these pipes in the wall, you're going to have a major problem. You got to shut your water down, rip out a wall, and make the repair. So you just can't go clamping on this as tight as you want. And when you do use a wrench, you want to use it near the bottom on this ridge, not near the top where you'd be compressing it even more so. So this hose has to be changed. I'm not worried about ruining the hose. And I'm going to try just one more time on camera to see if it budges. I'm going to try wiggling it back and forth a little. This is a tight spot that I'm in here. And I'm putting a lot of weight. Nothing's happening. That's not going to budge. So, as a last resort, if you wanted to save a hose, you can always put a new end on the hose. If anybody has any other ideas, post them in the comments down below. I'm going to cut this. I'm going to put a groove in here, so I could try either to split it open with a chisel or a screwdriver, or maybe just using the wrench, it might give way. You want to be careful when you're cutting. I'm going to use an angle grinder. You could use a hacksaw. Like I said, though, I'm in tight quarters here. This corner I'm in is real tight. And I'm just going to use an angle grinder with a worn down disc on it. And I just want to make a slice in here and a little bit into here. It doesn't take much to go through these, so you want to be real careful. Again, you don't want to mess up the threads on this piece. Otherwise, you'll be changing this piece as well. And I'm using the small wheel on here. I'm going to move the camera back as a precaution not to get anything splashed onto the lens of the camera. I think that may be enough. As a matter of fact, I might have went too far. Let's see. And I'm going to try splitting this open. You know what? There's this little piece right here I have to get. I can see it right here, but back to the grinder. this should do it. Okay, I can see the threads, and the mistake I made, I usually cut it more at an angle. It would have been a little better. I can see the threads, and I think I hit them a little. So that might be a problem. There's nothing here. Let's try this again. This is the toughest one I had yet. I can actually see the threads in here, but this is rusted solid over here. So I'm going to give it another slice, and maybe if I take out a chunk, I could just start peeling this back. I might have to get a screwdriver with a better blade. We can see the threads, and I did nip it a little bit on this one. I went a little too deep. But again, it's not moving. Look at that rust. I'm going to spray a little white vinegar on. I put all those other applications back in the garage. Nothing else will lubricate it somewhat. It's closer. The smaller wrench. There we go. Back the other way. It's moving, but it really doesn't want to give. Okay. Getting a little traction, but not much. There we go. We got it now. Okay, gonna have a little water mess here. When I started doing this, I gave as much pressure as I could coming this direction. This is the way you're taking it off. And it wouldn't budge. It did budge a little bit when I went to tighten it. Not much. It gave just like a little where you could feel it give. So I thought if I pushed it back this way, sprayed in there, and tried clamping it up, that what the liquids I was using would penetrate down by me pushing it up. I don't know. It was just a thought. I was trying to do whatever I could not to have to cut this. But in the interim, I had to cut it. Usually, if you go back and forth with one of these liquids on it, it'll give. It's usually not this bad where you have to cut the way I did on this one. So let me remove this from the wash machine, and this, because this isn't turning any longer. These normally have a swivel, but this swivel is rusted solid. Oh, there's the water. There's the water flow, baby. Okay, here we go. And it could be just that easy. Now you can see the rust isn't formed on this because it's brass. It's more on this metal here. But you can see this buildup, and I did knit threads. I'm going to use plumber's tape on here and see if it leaks. I planned on using it anyway to hopefully prevent rust buildup for the next time I have to take it out. And the swivel I was talking about, this is the bad end of the hose. It doesn't turn. But on the part of the hose on the washer that was still in good shape, you can see this turns. That's why I had to disconnect it from the washer to get it to spin. So, after all else failed, this was my solution, cutting it off. If you have any recommendations on another process to get this off, let me know. Put it in the comments down below. If you have any questions, also put them down below. If you found this video useful or even entertaining, give it a like. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe. Hit that Joe Z icon. And not to miss my new videos as I upload them, be sure to ring that bell. Until next time, stay safe.